corroded plates, twisted struts, scattered scrap. The manufactory makes for a familiar sight. Just one more ragged artifact from the corporation that once owned the system. Despite that, something about it sets you on edge, perhaps because it also will form the crucible for your attempt to take on an SNARP hunter. The kind whose entire job is to bring in escaped sleepers like you, dead or alive. The rig is tucked behind a rock, almost a truck for some reason, running on lower power with its transponder off. You hope that's enough to draw attention. Sorry, not to draw attention. So, talk us through it. Seraphim turns back to Flint, Cadence, and Xander, all of whom are crammed into the cockpit along with your crew. We have to make this place look like a colony. That is what the hunter will expect, Cadence suggests first, her voice quavering a little with anxiety. We can seal up some of the holes, maybe install some lighting, fake it up. Okay, Seraphim nods reassuringly. That's good, what then? We force them to go deep, Xander cuts in, and everyone looks at him. He pauses a little intimidated by the attention, but Flint nods at him to continue. I've been out here before, on Salvage Run. There's an assembly line that runs through the whole place, filled with old manufacturing machines. We seal doors, activate machines, make it a maze of malfunctioning construction arms and dead ends. Alright then, control the route. I like it, Seraphim smiles at Xander. And if we get lucky, maybe one of those old machines will do the job for us. I doubt it, Flint joins in. We'll need the ordnance from the silos. Mining charges, fuel, whatever is left from this place was churning out Solheim goods. They fire there, bro. We blow the place to make sure. The silence passes through the cockpit, the danger of what you're about to attempt dawning on everyone present. Okay, Seraphim has a dark look. That's the plan. We can detonate the ordnance with a command from the rig. A simple wideband comms. We'll get them. Seraphim pats Flint on the shoulder. Once they go in, that hunter isn't going back out. Anything we missed? Why if they don't take the bait? Then I engage. Flint rubs their hands together nervously. I lead them indirectly, right? Right, Seraphim confirms grimly. How long do you think we have? There's a lot of factory down here. Right down there. The hunter got to me in common fast. Flint looks out of the cockpit. No more than 3 cycles. When the hunter came for us, Flint grimaces, remembering the attack on Carmen's ship. They came out of nowhere, hit us hard and fast. If it wasn't for Carmen, we need to be ready for anything. Flint looks at you. There won't be a warning. Seraphim sighs. Nice pep talk. Flint, you better find somewhere deep in that place down in the bedrock, but make sure it has a back door, okay? He nods at the sleeper. The rest of us will get to work. Alright, you heard Flint. We do this and we do it right. We make us down in this rock. Let's not waste a moment more. Or time crunch too. Okay. Factory exterior. Seal exterior. The shell of the manufactory is full of holes. To make it look like a colony, it needs sealing up and fast. Disguise exterior. The old Solheim manufactory is a ruin. To convince the hunter, you'll need to add lights, paint, signs, all these signatures of working colony. Hi, Sylvie! I'm over 4 hours in. I know you've been busy. A 3-part plan. To be sure you can face the hunter, all 3 parts of the plan must be ready by the time they arrive. Enticement. To be sure the hunter will enter the facility, you need to make it look like the site of an operational colony. Okay, well, we got the stuff, so we might as well use it. I don't want to risk using my joystick against brakes, but fuck it. Okay, no, that worked. Alright. Cadet can do stuff here, that's good. Hack machines, one way to drive the hunter deeper into the factory will be to activate the olfactory machines, closing off routes and presenting a deadly threat. Sabotage doors. The massive bulkhead doors in the main factory require a direct approach if you want to tunnel the hunter into the trap. Entrapment. Trap the hunter, you'll need to prepare to reactivate the machines and seal the doors once they are inside. Cadet, you're my best bet here. Can I get another good roll? Damn it, apparently not. Sorry. Storage silos. Prime explosives, there are a few things more dangerous than rigging up expired mining charges and fuel tanks. Carefully does it. Mining explosives, gather ordnance, mining explosive, emergency breach charges. There's a lot of old ordnance down here, if it can be gathered and identified. I promise I'm good at reading. Execution. To end the hunter, you'll need to set up the old mining ordnance left at the site and bring the whole facility down. We kind of have to use everything then. If we're on time crunch, we might not have a choice. Okay, that works well. And Naya gets the same benefit? Not worth it. Oh, 3 cycles. Shit. Well, this is massively ungood. I'm not going to use that yet. I'm going to save it for when I think I need it. I've got some really high dice! This could go well, I don't know. Please don't overstress. Thank you. Worth it? Worth it. Okay, good. Got one done. You know, Cadis's voice comes over the comms shimmering with interference. From here, it doesn't look half bad. You look across the shell of the manufactory, which is a ruined Solheim construction facility, now studded with lights and dotted with markings, the fresh welds and plates giving the whole place a fragile, patchwork feeling. If I was a piece of shit hunter, this is what I think a normal person's settlement would look like, right? We better hope so. Cadence goes quiet for a moment, her attempt at humour only serving to remind you both of the desperate circumstances. Honestly, when I'm in stressful situations, I also make stupid jokes, so I'm right there with you, love. Have you spoken to Flint? Cadence pauses. I mean, really spoken? Why? Oh, Cadence stumbles over her words. I just thought you two might want to speak about. She trolls off. Flint is very loyal. I know they're quiet and, well, intense, but, she sighs. I just hope you two can find some common ground. I don't think they like me. Nobody thinks Flint likes them at first. You can hear Cadence's comforting smile in her voice. We know better now. Olivera is a refuge, Cadence takes a breath. For all of us. I was in trouble when I met Carmen. We all were in one way or another. Seraphine has told me a lot about you, Cadence hesitates, and I can see what you're trying to do for Flint for Olivera. I'm gonna let her finish. I appreciate it, and I know Xander does, and Carmen will do as well, and Flint, Cadence pauses, well, you'll see. The comms click off, returning you to the silence of the manufactory. You look out across the false colony at the glittering lights. They are a poor imitation of Olivera's real lights, those that indicate the colony's fragile, delicate state. You shake it off and move on. This isn't over yet. Relax, square the shoulders. Hope for the best. I don't know what to do. Nothing I can do here either. No. How good is your plus? I don't want to cause it too much stress because she's going. Can I do anything here? Oh, we both can. But I don't want to run the risk. No, here's where we go. We go here. Oh yeah, by the way, we met a bunch of new characters and got a lot of story shit sorted, but you'll be rewatching this, I'm hoping, so yeah, you'll see a lot of that. You'll see it all on YouTube eventually as well at some point. Hmm. And this is the guarantee. But I don't want to waste it, I want to use a lower dice. Boom! Okay. Oh, got so lucky there. You float for a moment, observing the chaos of the old assembly line. The scale of the structure, the number of machines, the arms and fabricators, the welders and bolters suggest industry on a scale that you have never witnessed. The Hellion system, a system that now subsists on the leftovers of its fell corporate owners, was once filled with manufactories like this, churning out components and technologies. Machines and resources for extracting the valuable materials and minerals from Solheim existed to a mass. If someone was able to rebuild one of these places, putting it back into operation, imagine what could be fed into the belt, what changes could come for its people. Yet no one will undertake such a task because this place is haunted by the spectre of Solheim, an entity that every being in the system can trace their origins back to. An entity that turned the entire system into a manufactory, a machine for accumulation, and that did not distinguish between human and machines as it did. You look at the broken machines, worn down and rusted, crippled and bent. Some of them have been put back into use of this past cycle as part of your plan, and those jerk or turn, randomly, blindingly groping for components that will never be fed to them. None of them are sentient machines like you, and so they cannot feel or think, and yet you cannot decide it for them to persist is a kind of... decide if for them to persist is a kind of cruelty that radiates from the system that created them, or the indication of new life, one that grants them new function, new meaning, and the possibility of something more. Creepy, right? Xander floats beside you, his voice hissing through the close-range comms. Maybe the hunter will get spooked by their switching arms. He imitates the scattered movements of the factory arms. More sad than creepy. Xander shrugs. If you say so. So, Xander gives you a look. How come this hunter isn't chasing you? I mean, my jacker is deactivated. Oh, Xander shoots you a look. Shoot you a look? Look at you, who did that? My captor. Xander goes quiet, I see. I can't deactivate Flints. Sure, Xander looks down, but you know, maybe once we're done here, he meets your eye. They need your help. Xander looks out at the assembly line inside. I like Flint. I'm happy to do this for them. He turns back to you, and I want to like you too. So don't mess this up, alright? Xander gives you a hard look. Don't let Flint down. I'll try not to, man. Xander kicks off and glides towards the exit without waiting for a response. You watch him go for a moment before turning away. There's still so much to do. Oh boy, stress. Okay. I really hope that was worth the push. I've only got one cycle left though before the hunter gets here. Crap. Come on, please be good, please be good, please be good, please be good. Fuck. Fuck. I needed that one to work out. I'm sorry, Cadet. I really am. Sorry, Noya. I needed that one to work. Yeah, we're boned. Okay. Oh, I was so determined to get all of them done as well. I'm sorry. Fuck. Might not be completely lost, we might be okay. Wake up, Sleeper. Seraphine is in the bunks. We've got incoming. I mean, we'll trap them here, but we won't blow the thing up. Ugh. You shake off the haze of forgotten dreams and get up. In moments, you're in the cockpit. Xander, Cadence, and Seraphine all gathered around the console. On it, the local view shows nothing, not a single ship signal, and few objects beyond a scattering of debris. It was right here, I swear it, Seraphine jabs at the screen. A ship, small, but definitely a ship. Seraphine, Cadence sighs. We've all been up a while. Get some rest. I know what I saw, he catches her eye. You look at the screen, its gridded view showing the scattered signature of debris. Like schools of fish drifting in a soft current. The manufactory is a noisy blob at the center of the circle, one that dissolves into the background at its edges. Nothing. And then there it is, a flicker, a flash, a spark of movement and light among one of the debris clouds. It flares and then it's gone again. You look up and Seraphine meets your eye. He reads your expression immediately. Seraphine slams her hand down on the console, opening up the comms channel. Look alive, Flint, they're coming in. Go deep and be ready to run. He pulls his hand off the switch. We better hope they heard that. Then you see it through the cockpit glass, the flare of an engine, faint and masked, but driving a squat, dark ship out of the debris. The Hunter. Oh, so the Hunter is like a ship then, and not like the weird thing that looked like a hot dog in a really comfy pajama sweater in the first game. Yeah. The ship seems to idle a little near the manufacturer's asteroid, drifting past the dressed-up shell of the old facility. Time to see if FA Colony is convincing enough. Cadence nervously clasps her hands together. Will they buy it? They better. Seraphine looks concerned, because if they think this place looks abandoned, the Hunter might just strafe the whole facility. Seraphine swallows hard. We need them to dock, to come inside. You look out at the ship, and as you do, it jumps forward towards the docking tower. You watch for a few tense moments as it hesitates, and then slides into position on one of the docking bridges. Cadence sighs in relief. They went for it. Seraphine pats you on the shoulder. Good job. The rat is in the maze. We can track them now, he exhales. At least that's the theory. I hooked up some basic monitoring devices on the assembly line. Xander calls over from another console. A few cheaty cameras repurposed from the old factory monitoring systems. Not much, but hopefully enough to tell us where they're at. Cadence, Seraphine, and you crowd around the screen. Xander flicks between noisy black and white images and feeds of static. You squint into the fizzing dark, trying to pick out any detail. Then, suddenly, you see them. The Hunter and SNARP operative. Wait! Hang on, I'm getting a look at the eyes. Is that another sleeper? I think it just might be. Or it's a human with some ocular implants. I mean, I don't know. A shadow drifting beneath the flickering light, dark-clad military gear, a long gun held ready at their shoulder, deathly pale skin, and in their eyes gleaming through the faceplate, glowing irises. Who the hell is that? Seraphine pulls back from the screen. They look like a sleeper. Oh, I was right, okay. Xander finishes Seraphine's sentence. The figure disappears outside the margins of the frame and Xander flicks through the feeds. Where did they go? You drift back from the screen trying to think straight. The Hunter is a sleeper, or something else. You replay the image of the figure in your mind, but it has already shifted in your memory. It is your face staring back. It is Flint's. It is the sleeper's mask of death. Sleeper, Seraphine grabs you by both shoulders and looks you in the eye. We need you to focus. Sorry, we need to focus. We should get down there. Xander's eyes are wide. This changes things. Yeah, Xander's right. Xander nods to you and then is gone, kicking hard off the cockpit wall. Not off the cockpit wall, and heading into the ship towards the airlock. Seraphine gives you a hard look. You better hope nothing happens to that kid. He shuts off the console. Let's go after him. Go, Cadence looks between you and Seraphine with a silly expression. I'll stay here. She glances nervously at the console. Give me the signal and I'll send the detonation signal. She swallows hard. If it works. I didn't get time to set that one up, though. If I had another cycle, I could have gotten the boom boom set up and I didn't set the boom boom. Unless I can do it now. Seraphine looks torn for a moment and then nods. Let's go. You rush down to the airlock and suit up, and then you're out, descending through the rock-strewn void in tense silence. You enter the manufactory through a gap in the frame, passing through layers of twisted facility into the deep parts, where you know Flint waits in the dock. You say nothing to each other, afraid the comms will be intercepted. You lead Seraphine on, seeking the deep bays under the silos where you begin setting up the ordnance. Though unfinished, perhaps there is enough down here for this to work. If not, Seraphine's hand falls on your shoulder, pulling you back. You go to speak and then you see it, a torch being lancing through the dark. A shadow drifting beneath a flickering light, dark-clad in military gear, a long gun held ready at the shoulder, deathly pale skin, and in their eyes gleaming through the faceplate, glowing irises. The Hunter, with eyes like you, like Flint. The Hunter is a sleeper. Below you, they push through the dark and broken layers of the facility, seeking Flint. And where's Xander? Seraphine and you exchange wide-eyed glances in silence. The Hunter passes below, disappearing into a dark passage. You wait together, the moment stretching out, then descend down into that same passage. The silence is absolute. Suddenly there is a flash of light ahead, bright and forceful, and a rumble that shakes rust flakes from the walls. You and Seraphine push off hard, gliding into the dark, desperate and afraid. You come into a low bay scattered with glowing embers. Scorched holes in the walls spew drops of red-hot metal where a weapon had been discharged. The Hunter floats at the center, taking aim again, and you see a flicker of movement on the far side. Flint retreating. Before you can act, a slight figure in a suit slams into the back of the Hunter. Xander. As he hits, the Hunter's gun spins out of their hand. Grab gun. Positive, lovely. I was getting it either way because, neutral would have worked too. You kick off, away from Xander and the Hunter as they grapple together, spinning in the dark towards a deep shaft at the far side of the bay. You spot the shape of the long gun as it spins ahead of you. As you reach it, your hand locking around the sculpted grip, you spin and raise it. You take a moment to steady your aim. The scorching shot grazes the side of the hunter's suit in a flurry of sparks. They are thrown away from Xander, unable to find anything to slow their glide. The hunter disappears into the dark of the shaft, leaving a trail of embers in the dark. You see fear in Xander's eyes as they turn back to you. The muzzle of the gun smokes, glowing red. It is spent. I've got Flint, Seraphim calls over local comms. We ascend now. You look across to the two of them kicking off from the floor of the bay towards a ragged hole in the ceiling. You and Xander exchange a single glance, then follow. Cadence, Seraphim's on the way band. Detonate this place now, send the command. There is silence. You ascend through the layers of the manufactory, seeking the open void of space beyond. You clear the manufactory, gliding into open space. There is nothing but silence, the eternal quiet void of the void. It didn't detonate. Seraphim comes over local comms to confirm what you already know. You hear the sound of an impact, a guttural groan through Seraphim's comms. You look across to see them Oh no! Oh no! Oh god, how bad is it? You look across to see them tumbling. A dark shape latched onto them, one that calls and kicks off towards Flint, gliding through open space like a creature native to it. There's no other choice to be made, you don't think. You throw yourself at the hunter with everything you have. They strike at you and you feel the crunching blows, but your hands search for purchase for those parts of their suit that are vulnerable. You feel a hammer blow crack your shoulder, pushing it out of place, but as you do, you find what your hands have been searching for, the suit's propulsion hose. Those bright eyes, those sleeper irises glow behind the faceplate, glow with anger and hate. You pull the hose. The hunter is thrown back, spinning, tumbling, driven back by the plume escaping from their suits. And then the plume subsides and the hunter continues to spin, nothing to slow or stop them, travelling on a starward arc. You watch them go, your vision clouded with the pain and damage, your body beaten and crumpled. You know that, if they are a sleeper like you, the hunter's arc will be ceaseless, their death long. They disappear out of visual range, the hunter is gone. Okay. Alright, I was really worried that Cadence had been killed for some reason. I think we're good? We're good. Holy shit, I thought I messed up so badly by not being able to activate the explosives, or set them up rather. Oh god, I'm so relieved. God, why is the text-based RPG causing me more stress than most of the FPSs I've Let's Played? I haven't Let's Played an FPS in a fucking long time, actually, Jesus Christ. What was the last one I did? I think it was Metal Hellsinger, probably? Or Shadow Warrior, it was one of the two. Healing back to Oliveira, the mood in the rig one of deep exhaustion, but as the colony appears visible from the cockpit, the satisfaction of having run a terrifying quality and come back in one piece shifts the mood. I'm surprised we all made it. I thought for sure someone was gonna die. Bliss does their best to fix up the damage you sustained in your final encounter with the hunter, but you know your frame will take time to settle. Oliveira at least is a welcoming place to rest and recover. As you come into dock with the colony, you feel a wave of relief. Seraphim pats you on the shoulder as you both wait for the airlock to open. That hunter, he sighs. SNOP is crueler than I could have imagined. Doesn't surprise me. It's a nasty logic. Send a sleeper to catch a sleeper. Seraphim shakes his head. I'm glad we brought Flint some freedom. The airlock hisses open, revealing the docking bridge where Xander first confronted you. This time, another more substantial figure waits in the passage. I hear you're... Carmen! Hey, looking good, buddy. Like, now that you don't look like a corpse anymore in a suit. Like his design, though. He reminds me a bit of that dude from Cowboy Bebop. Like, the pilot of the ship. I'm gonna look it up. I can't remember his name. In fact, this game is very Cowboy Bebop, to be honest. Jet Black is his name. Is that racist because this dude is also black? I don't know. I hear you're the ones I should be thanking for saving my life. Tom leans against the side of the tunnel and one arm clamps against the waist. So, thank you, he nods at the two of you. But, good to see you up. Just about, although I'm told I shouldn't be, he smiles slyly. Carmen! Kate rushes past the two of you, gliding into Carmen with an embrace strong enough to leave the injured man off balance. Alright, careful. You don't want to put me back in the med bay, do you? Carmen pushes Cadence back with a gentle grip on her shoulders. He flinches as he does, his jaw clearly holding, pardon me, some truth. Sorry, Cadence smiles, just glad to see you up. A frown crosses Carmen's face. Where's Xander? You losing your vision, old man? You look back to see Xander and Flint behind you in the tunnel. Xander smiles widely at Carmen, betraying his happiness to see him. I'll be just fine, Zan. Carmen's words are confident, but his tone suggests he isn't convinced. You notice his hands are tightly balled into fists as if resisting pain and wonder if he should really be up at all. Carmen turns to look at you and Seraphin. I think we need to talk. How about you two and Flint accompany me to the medbay? Carmen winks. Flint pushes past you both and goes to Carmen, helping him out of the tunnel. As he does, they exchange a few words, but you are too far away to make them out. You and Seraphin exchange glances and follow behind them into Olivera. Carmen leads you to a small recovery bay. Oh, a war-torn Olivera founder. Always make sure to read that. Carmen leads you to a small recovery chamber in the medbay, where his bed is set up. A handful of tubes, I almost said lubes for some reason, and full of tubes and wires float gently beside it, attached to boxy devices. Flint has already left the group, leaving just you and Seraphin with Olivera's injured founder. Carmen meets your eye with a hard look. So, how did you two end up stumbling onto our colony out in the Shoals? He raises an eyebrow. Because we're not usually open to visitors. Ankita sent us to you. You see the flicker of recognition in Carmen's eyes when you mention Ankita. You produce the thumbnail drive, holding it out for Carmen to inspect. You told Sleeper to deliver this to you, and you alone, Seraphin folds his arms. Carmen pauses thoughtfully. That's the name I have not heard for a while. He takes the drive. It seems I should thank you again, he sighs, and perhaps I owe you some explanation myself. Ankita and I used to work together a lifetime ago. Carmen shakes his head. We went our separate ways, but then she turned back up in Olivera. I established this colony as a refuge, a way of starting again. Carmen clasps his hands together. The belt is changing, and I'm afraid of what's coming. Ankita took refuge here for a short while, and then one cycle she was gone. Carmen shrugs. That's not unusual for her. Each of us has our own demons. He holds up the drive. I will take a look at what's on here, when I'm able. He looks at the drive with concern, and I will let you know what I find. You and Seraphin thank him and leave the chamber as he settles back on his recovery bed. As you leave, Flint catches your attention. Can we speak? Seraphin pauses. I'll catch you back on the rig. He looks between the two of you and then glides away. Flint hovers, a look of concern on the mask-like face. What do you need? Flint gives you a curious look. You don't remember any of it, do you? Any of what? How you got here? Of your history? Flint screws up their face in a pained expression. At first I thought you were hiding something, or you were intentionally avoiding the subject, so I waited. But I understand it now. You don't remember me at all. You take a moment to think, to try to recall Flint. Bury your brown frustration, sifting through hazy memories of Darkside and further back of your arrival to the Belt. Close your eyes and see the faces of other sleepers, panicked, desperate in darkness. I don't remember. We worked together in the same SNOB mining installation, along with the other sleepers. You search into your eyes for a spark of recognition. We weren't close, I'm not sure we really spoke. Very few of us did. But I was there when we planned the escape together, through under the freighter, collapsing the mineshaft. Flint stops, struggling to continue in the face of the blank look you're giving them. You feel an unpleasant itch, as if something is crawling around inside your skull. You can see that Flint wants you to recall them, to recall the escape, the installation, but you find only hazy sensations, and beneath them, pain. I'm sorry, I don't mean to... Flint looks down. I know you can't help it, I just needed to say something, to know if you really don't remember. Thank you for everything you've done for me and for Olivera. Flint turns and drifts away, dejectedly unable to continue. As you watch Flint go, you scratch the side of your head, trying to find something in the way they move, the way they speak, their mask-like face. A face that was identical to yours when it was first cast, but that, over cycle after cycle of wear and damage, has been transformed. Two machines, so close in form and function, estranged by experience. I think that's a good place to end it, because... Oh, we have to wait for the cycles to end. Seraphin's not ready to leave the current location, okay. Thing is, do I see this through? How many cycles is it? It's only one more. May as well. 4.5 hours in, we're gonna keep going. Carmen's analysis. Carmen is still recovering, so it'll take him a little while to go through Ankita's drive and report back on the reports. I say we do a bit of work, maybe? And we have a dice that needs fixing as well. They are getting broken more and more frequently too, which I'm not a huge fan of. Thanks for coming up, Sleeper. Carmen is waiting for you and Seraphim when you arrive at the med bay, looking a lot fresher. He leads you into a... He always looks fresh, though. He leads you into a small alcove set up like an office, with an aging terminal on a simple welded desk and a small window looking out across the dusty rock of Olivera. Got some news for us? Seraphim asks impatiently. Since you arrived back from the manufactory, he has been restless, though you aren't sure why. Not to worry, Carmen grins slyly. I think you'll want to hear this. He hits the key on the terminal and a file browser appears on the screen, showing hundreds of individual pieces of data. Ankita's been busy, Carmen gestures to the screen. She's been scraping Utsubo communications cycle after cycle, got access to ciphers and encryption that only the gang's leadership should be able to see, he smiles. It seems she's learned some tricks since we worked together. But that's not what matters. What matters is the content of these messages. He taps a few keys and loads some of the data, which scrolls down the screen. Some parts of Utsubo leadership have been getting ideas. Ideas about taking Greenbelt and controlling food production in the belt. About exerting power over Wellspring. Big ideas for a gang. But these Utsubo members aren't alone. They found themselves a powerful ally. Carmen shakes his head. Senate-Stat. Senate-Stat, one of two corporations fighting a bitter battle for control of the inner system. A pernicious force. Oh, I love that word, pernicious. One that Utsubo are opening a door for in the belt. You can't be serious, Seraphim cuts in. They can't be that stupid. I don't know what to tell you. At least someone inside Utsubo is trying to broker a partnership. Who? Seraphim leans over to look at the screen. You don't need Carmen's answer, and neither does Seraphim. Lane. Seraphim looks at you, shaking his head. It has to be Lane. Of course it's Lane! That prick's always had it out for us. Who else would you expect it to be? Carmen looks between you both. Seems like you already know something I don't. Lane is a piece of shit. True. You could just stop there, mate. Lane is a piece of shit Utsubo leader who thinks he owns us, Seraphim shakes his head. Exactly the kind of piece of shit arrogant enough to try to manipulate Senate-Stat. Carmen nods thoughtfully. Like, nods, not nuts. Nods. Oh god. Oh no. You can tell I'm getting more tired because I'm having more word slip-ups. It is 1:30 in the morning as well. Jesus Christ. Carmen nods thoughtfully. My condolences. I'm starting to see how you cross paths with Ankita. Why is Ankita telling you this? Like I said, Ankita and I work together. To put it simply, we ran the same mercenary outfit. Carmen looks away. A lot has happened since then, but this message, this data, it's her calling in a favour. My question is then, how long is the gap of time between Certain Sleeper 1 and 2? Because we meet Ankita in the first game. And she is established as a mercenary in that one, J. Wright fucking tells us. But given how much she's aged, and like, we see her looking older and Bliss and Tala and Peter looking older, I'm gonna guess at least, because it's 3 years, like, in real life between the releases of the game, so I'm gonna guess, like, maybe 3 or 4, which is quite enough time to get that many changes. I don't know. And Iowa, that's for sure. Carmen shakes his head and pushes himself off from the desk, crossing the room to look out of the window at Oliver's pale and airless surface. Well, after what went down, you both too. You look at Carmen staring out at the surface of this hostile rock and wonder what he sees out there. It doesn't seem quite hostile. We've actually made some really good friends. Like Carmen, Xander, Cadence, they're all pretty cool people. He established the colony as a fallback, a retreat, not just for him, for others too, but you get the feeling that Carmen knows any retreat is only ever temporary. He turns back to look at you. And you, Sleeper? What will you do? Go take on the Utsubo. Take on a gang, Carmen smiles? Are you sure about that? We're going to end Lane, whatever it takes, Seraphim says, and Carmen fists balled. Carmen looks at you. That one is gonna get you in trouble, he turns to Seraphim, but I like that energy. He looks back out the window. This is not something we're going to take head on. He shakes his head. Ankita sent us our weapon. Carmen turns and gestures at the console screen with its reams of incriminating data. Utsubo don't control all the dark side, they only aspire to. They also claim to offer protection from the war between Senate-Stat and Conway. That presents us with an opportunity. Utsubo is full of members who'd rather die than concede dark side to a corporate interest. We play this right, Utsubo will end Lane for us. He smiles at Seraphim, to use your phrase. We leak the data? Not leak, common friends. This is delicate, tricky. There's a lot of ways this can play out badly for all of us. We can handle it. We've cracked Darkseid once, we can do it again. Seraphim's confidence is infectious. Is that right? Carmen seems to be thinking something through. He crosses to the console, back to the window, and then to the console once more. Alright. I'm going to need some time, but I can put this together. Carmen nods at Seraphine. We'll need that energy, but you also need to be ready. We rush this, it's not ending well, so I can wait. Carmen turns his attention to you. We'll go from Greenbelt when you're ready. I have friends there who can help you get that ship of yours to Darkside. Seraphine looks at you. We have our own preparations to make, but we will be ready. Alright, Carmen unplugs Ankeet's drive and hands it to you. Take this and get out of here. I don't want anyone finding this thing in my possession. You take it, the tiny drive somehow heavier than what you know the tiny drive somehow heavier now that you know it contains the key to exposing Lane. Thank you. I'll see you in the wheat sheaf. Carmen smiles to himself. Then I'll be there. Just to understand something, Carmen's expression turns serious. You want my help on this? There's no way we can let her get back to the colony. Once you leave here, you're not coming back to Olivera. Not until we're done. Michirai. He needs confirmation that you recognize the importance of this. I understand. Carmen nods. Then you could go. He returns to the window to stare at whatever it is he sees out there, among the dusty rocks. When you come back to the rig, Flint is waiting for you, leaning by the docking tunnel with a bag over their shoulder. They look up as you approach. Hey, Flint nods. Flint nods. Sorry, just the casualness of it really caught me off guard. Hey, Flint nods a greeting, apparently a little unsure. Hey. I know you've already done a lot for me, so I'm not going to push you or ask for your pity. They pause. You feel like they have been preparing the speech. Firstly, I owe you and I want to pay you back. I can work and I can fight and I'll protect the ship and the crew with everything I have. Secondly, we come from the same place, and whether you remember it or not, that means something. It must. I know I'm not the easiest to get on with. Fucking hell. I know you might have your reservations about having another sleeper on the ship, but... yeah, let him finish. I'm eager, I'm ready, I want to move on and I want to show my value. They pause, and well... yeah, I think that's it. You look at Flint, their frame's so much more damaged than yours, but with the fire burning in their eyes that makes them seem bigger than they are. Absolutely. A smile spreads across Flint's face, and they look down to hide it. Thank you, they say to the floor. This'll work out, you'll see. Flint nods to you once more, then turns and glides down the docking tunnel towards the ship. As they do, two figures at the edge of the docking concourse catch your eye. You pause to look, shifting a little, and as you do, you recognize Cadence leaning in. Some words are exchanged, ones you can only guess at, and then the other figure embraces Cadence and turns back to the ship. As Seraphine approaches, he ducks his head, passing quietly past you into the docking tunnel without a word. You take one last look at the docks, but Cadence is gone. You idle a moment longer and feel that there's something more, some presence even in these empty bays, something rare in all the belt that Olivera has captured. But as with all things, you must learn to leave it behind. Next achievement, the fugitive. Recruited Flint. And 4 3/4 hours, I think that's more than enough. Next time we're gonna go back to export. No, that's not export. Oh, I have to go to the docks to get it right. Well, nothing I can really do here. The only other thing is, repaint the rig. Oh yeah, I just have to like parade it around. So I can get some extra money. I mean, I'm okay with not doing that. I mean, I'll try to next time. But next time we might be finishing the game. And I want to stay on and do it, but it's gonna be like 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock quite soon. And yeah, it's getting late and I've streamed for roughly, well, very nearly 5 hours. So yeah, I think that'll end it, but next time we might be finishing the game. I don't know. A game which I've really fucking enjoyed so far. So... I'll see you all for that. As always. Thank you for watching. You're awesome. Have a pleasant rest of your day.